Hey YouTube, it's Joe from Mega Newsreader. It is Saturday evening, July 14th, 2012. I am in Monterrey and I am walking towards the Bohemian Grove. I passed no less than 30, I'm not even exaggerating, 30 cop cars. Sheriffs, primarily Sonoma County Sheriff's Department, but there were motorcycle mounted police officers, there were trailers, cargo vehicles, and countless squad cars. They must have been up here for the protest earlier. Again, I was not able to come and be a part of that, but so this is new. The County of Sonoma has placed dozens and dozens of no parking, anytime, will be towed. Now this is temporary, and there's no reason that people shouldn't be able to park over here, other than lending their voice to protest. So it appears that earlier today there were some protesters out here. You can see all of their protest signs that they've so thoughtfully left behind. Now I'm seeing protest signs about moratorium on all foreclosures, I lost my land, denied unemployment, can't find work, what next? USA, #1 in prisons, #48 in schools. Slave labor, prison labor, stop the prison empire, stop the profit off our old and sick. It's Saturday night. It's the Cremation of Care. I'm the only human being down here. Why can't we get people down here during the Cremation of Care? Well, like I was saying, just like last year, they have Sonoma County Sheriff's Department up at the gate, but now they've got even more goodies. So they've got substantial trailers, and it looks like they've basically got a little holding cell up here past the gate. So I'm not trying to go past those gates, I never do.
Mark Tice is a great guy. You know, he's okay. He's a gentleman and shit. But he come out here. He's pretty loud, and other people said the same thing. He was kind of loud, but he's got a point to make. He's been out here for a while. He's kind of an experienced activist. But I try to tell him, like, hey, Mark, you know, he doesn't really like the Occupy. I try to tell him, you know what? Unlike the Tea Parties, who have been completely bought and paid for, the Occupy is still relatively like, it's still like
it's organic. It's dynamic.
It's organic.
It's not controlled.
Exactly, and it's, you know, that's a good thing, because we at least get to have that conversation. And it's not the same thing with the Tea Parties.
I would respectfully disagree that the Occupy movement is not becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of some, you know, George Soros operation. I really truly believe that the Tea Party also has been 100% co-opted, and every movement that starts to get traction and starts to actually have an effect is taken over from the inside, and that's
but
why.
You're talking about one aspect of it.
Yeah, I am.
There's Occupy for some people is all kinds of different things. Yeah, and I'm not part of it like you. I don't subscribe to anything because I don't want to limit myself, put limitations on semantics and words.
Right.
But I think we all have the same common goal, and that's the problem. It's the Hegelian dialectic, which is always pushing us to separation. And it's the same thing in the activism movement. It's going on the same way.
What's cool about Occupy is that I might disagree with every single demand that they want. However, I love their right to protest.
Exactly.
And when I see, you know, because obviously there's a big split, you know, and America's been chopped into left and right. And you see neocon conservatives who are going to be voting for Mitt Romney. And they paint the Occupy movement as just some form of socialist, you know, people that don't work, you know, people who are just looking for handouts.
Maybe that's true.
And
some people,
you know,
it's pretty diverse though. It's pretty wide range.
I agree. It's extremely diverse. However, I went to San Francisco in front of the Federal Reserve
Oh, yeah?
when they
Awesome.
first started the big Occupy movement out there. And I spent the night out there, and I had Ron Paul signs.
Wow,
and I
you
was
were part of these.
I was pushed away
Yeah.
because I had a Ron Paul sign.
It happens. I'm a Ron Paul supporter also in LA, and I have the same problem. It's horrible
Yeah.
going down there and trying to be a libertarian, but it's very diverse down there, so they kick a few people out who go out there.
Well, they didn't kick me out. They just made me feel extremely unwelcome.
Yeah.
And
Well, they'll
my
put all this
point
shit in
is,
your face. They'll
yeah,
go,
it's
mic check, and they'll get all this bullshit right in your
yeah.
face.
And I did see a lot of people shitting on the sidewalks, and I saw a lot of stuff that I felt was
So, do you agree with it with Occupy?
no, I don't. I don't believe.
With most of it, but I agree. Well, I have a similar sort of viewpoint. Like I'm not so sure now, but more of a Ron Paul supporter, more on the libertarian side also, like all you guys.
I'm a big Ron Paul
But
supporter.
yeah, sure. So, but they're much more on. I mean, there's some flat out socialists. There's some
Yeah,
See, I
totally
try
a
to tell
valid
everybody,
socialist.
It can't work.
they can't work.
Socialism
Yeah.
will never
Well, of course
work
not. Yeah.
because power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And until you get the perfect human being that is born, then you can say socialism will work. Or if you have a place like everyone is the exact same. I mean, if everyone is the exact same person, then maybe you could get it work.
In theory,
Until we get
yes,
that,
but
forget
it's
it.
it's a form of centralized
In
government,
theory,
and when you centralize
socialism
things, you may
can
have the perfect candidate that you mentioned.
Right.
But going down the road 5 years, 10 years, at some point, some human who is flawed, and vulnerable and greedy,
It's gonna
just like
change.
probably every single one of us in this
And
group
it's
right
not-
here.
Can't give them that
It's
power.
not communism. Socialism is not communism.
Yes,
So-
I didn't say that it was, and I agree. I
think
agree
it
with you.
is?
There's
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 a
a-
really classical definition.
You
but
better
not-
look in the Oxford English Dictionary then, because they're two different things.
Well, socialism is the same as statism, and then communism is like the complete like overhaul, and workers start because that's like the classic definition of communism. The workers control the industry. They vote.
Well, that's the
and
idea.
the boss-
It's not ever going to be that way. It's
It
just-
can't
it's-
be that
it's
way.
a scam.
Pick-
I see it as. It's, the rich made a scam
It's the same
because
thing.
suckering
It's
people.
capitalism.
It's like, well,
Same
I'm reading a book
scam.
about it.
The
I read it
elites
on the
still
plane.
win. The elites still control everything, just like in capitalism, communism, the same thing.
Not
It's not real barter and trade though.
No.
But
In theory, but
Jason-
it's never working in practice.
Yeah, in theory.
Yeah, but Jason, it's not capitalism. It has to be corporatism.
Corporatism.
It has to be corporate. Capitalism would be barter
thing.
and trade. It's not the same thing though. It's not.
No, I'm
the same.
saying corporatism and fascism are the same thing.
Yeah, but not capitalism.
Right.
Well, you said capitalism. And
So I
thought
ask
capitalism
you,
was barter and trade.
what would
respect
you
to private
consider-
property.
No, but I meant
Consider
as far as
yourself.
the elite controlling the top.
an enemy of
Crony
central
capitalism
banks.
is the same as
I am an enemy of the Federal Reserve. In my opinion,
But I mean, proper words like socialism and anarchism.
why would I put myself in anything that deserves quotes around it? Why would I do
It's too
that?
limiting, I think. Yeah,
So
You
you're
know?
not- so you would label yourself
Is
as
your pipe?
anything that people
No,
would
we're gonna be
label
okay. Look
you
at
as.
Can I just promote something real fast?
Of course.
I'm a journalist, kind of an aspiring writer, and I recently got published in the medical marijuana magazine, Treating Yourself.
There's my shot.
It's a very good magazine, one of the best cannabis journals out there. And I just want to say this goes out to Marco Reno, who's the editor. He's a good guy. Marco's a good dude.
That's
and this
my
goes out to you.
nephew-in-law. Huh?
Who's that?
Steve Axman?
Oh, yeah?
He's my nephew-in-law.
So, anyways, to try to answer your question,
Steve Oxman.
He's-
I think that there are no black and whites.
Silver truck.
There are no absolutes.
Oh, so you got family.
When you have people in the Occupy movement who are crying out for, socialism, I really do believe that you could have a lot of social programs. And that's not the problem. It's not unions. It's not, government pensions. Hold on. If the Federal Reserve wasn't printing money out of thin air and lending it to us at interest, creating a mathematical problem we could never solve, we could have social programs. What they're doing is they're draining the fucking tank. There is plenty of opportunity to take care of our society. However, when you have this
And resources.
100,000-pound gorilla in the room that has no vested interest in the sovereignty of this
philosophy
fucking nation,
my philosophy
then
is-
you will never be able to have those social programs.
My philosophy is when you take off the parasitic relationship of Wall Street and the government and the octopus, it's on everybody's lives. When all that goes away, all of a sudden you realize the resources and the technology is enough to empower the wealth. All that wealth that's being parasitically out is going to get thrown back into the economy. All of a sudden, that lower middle class is now the upper middle class. And now you've got a real functioning economy. You don't need the government to do that. People will do it themselves. They'll have more money to give. You'll see all these charitable organizations popping up all over the place. Hospitals taking in people to the safety net. Our own selves will come up from the top. See, the pyramid's like this, it's like that. No, we need it like this. The wealthy need to be at the top, taking care of the poor down here. You know, instead of the opposite, where they're trying to make that little shift of the wealthy up here and the elite with a little trickle down and taking care of the lowest of the low.
Right.
We did like a counter Illuminati strategy. Because they have like a certain strategy. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like they have a pyramid organization.
Yeah. Well,
they use secrecy. They use
need the middle class.
compartmentalization. So we have to like reverse that. I mean, that's why I see it's like being decentralized.
Yeah.
And using transparency.
That's my
like
point.
exact opposite.
The upper middle class is that
turns
top
it around.
level, right? When you have that pyramid up here, upper middle class, they're the ones that trickle down the wealth, and it funnels into the bottom, right? And then everybody down here, the poorest of the poor, the safety nets, people that are born retarded, you need help. You need help for certain things. People that are disabled.
Yeah, but Jason, here's the problem though.
We'll take care of ourselves.
If it's statism though, or that means the state pays for it, which means that it's not voluntarily given, which means the state has to.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
That's my point.
Is it voluntarily?
We voluntarily give it.
If it's.
It doesn't come from the state.
So you wouldn't pay taxes?
That's my point.
You wouldn't pay
Yes,
taxes?
that's my point.
They would voluntarily give it?
You got to pay taxes for. We got to have a
No,
national
you
defense.
do, you don't have to pay taxes.
Well, you have to pay a small amount of taxes. If it's a national sales tax, maybe 1 or 2%. I would say you could pay for the entire government that you need. We need a post office because FedEx and UPS will not go in West Virginia. I think to have a nation, you have to have everyone connected with mail or some sort of system.
So
Post office, national defense, a few things, just what the founders wanted.
And
Yes,
healthcare?
man, we do.
No,
need
of course
defense
not healthcare.
because
Not
of the
socialized
other
healthcare.
evils.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
It's
You
the
have
costs
your
are
own
to
money to pay
accumulate.
for your own health
The
care.
costs are to
Food is
accumulate.
your health care.
It's not voluntary. Taxation is not voluntary. Taxation is theft. That's what
Right,
taxation
but
is.
I think there does need to be, to protect our borders, we need a national defense. Let's not argue about that.
No,
We need
I'm
to have
gonna
some
argue
sort of
with
national defense.
I'm going to argue with it.
Well, I think we do need a national defense, just to have the protection. And
Most
there needs to be police.
Most wars are nothing
I
about
agree
defense.
with
There needs to be roads.
Most wars have nothing to do with about defense. It's purely engineered. Like bankers control both sides.
Well,
and it's a
defense-
profit-making scheme, basically. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Defense,
Right.
having a
Pyramid.
defense
Pyramid,
doesn't mean war.
Right.
Yeah, that's how
National
it should
defense.
You know,
be. Like ready,
Post office,
Let's
national
provide-
defense, buildings
Not-
and roads and bridges, infrastructure,
not
Everybody
empire.
have-
We don't
and
need an
police,
empire.
fire, and EMT. That's it.
providing you have a nation, though. And
That's
some
it.
people don't want a nation anymore. Because
Some people or whatever. I mean, we're a nation.
Germany was, and
We're
everybody
a
uses
republic.
Germany as like an example, but Germany was a very strong state and a nation. And by that, he rallied up his people very, enthusiastically.
You know how he did that?
It was all chants and shit. It was all a religious experience.
No,
Like
he
in
actually
Nuremberg.
burned down his own parliament building and blamed it on
false
Poland.
flag.
And then they had all those marches through Nuremberg, the whole Nuremberg
I see
rallies.
what's going on
They had
in
lights and
America. It
music
looks
and
very
everything. It was all
similar
very
to
hypnotic
1930s
experience.
What's going on right now?
And
It's the same people.
it's very dangerous.
It's the same
You get to
people.
rally people
not
together
nearly
for,
as bad though, man.
You got somebody here,
somewhat
guys?
less than
Mercedes Benz.
positive. So maybe we should end the nation.
No, we're a republic.
No, we got to restore the
We restore the
Constitution.
republic.
Restore the republic.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, man. There are people that fought and died and spent years
know.
and years and years and years and years
This
and
new world
I've
order.
known
though.
many of them.
centuries
It's
of
coming
getting
to
to
what
this
it's about.
point that we're at. What is it all about? Freedom of man, liberty, right? And we got a decent thing in 1776, and we like finally did it. And then it's been chipped away and corrupted until 2012. So where do we go from here? We got to restore the republic, not get
That's
further
going
away
backwards,
from it.
though.
Well, maybe we need to go backwards to go forwards.
Well, it's people like Peter Joseph and lots of other of these futurists, they said that we need to have resource sustainability. It comes
The
back to
zeitgeist.
Huh?
The zeitgeist stuff.
Resource availability it's called hemp.
Resource-based economy. Like
It's called
zeitgeist.
zeitgeist.
It doesn't need.
Yeah. Well, it could.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do all
it
the
could
time.
work out.
Never-
but it tends to be like.
Hey, are you guys
used
coming out right
against
now?
people.
Hey, excuse me. You guys, is there some kind of schedule inside of the Bohemian Grove? Hey, come back over here and talk to us.
Come on, yo.
Come on, man.
Oh, we love
Hey,
you.
next time you come through, can you please spare 50 cents? For a bus ride. I need a bus ride.
There's your sheriff's department right there. Why do they need all this? This is the Bohemian Grove. This is private property. Why is the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department spending my tax dollars to have this mobile prison rolling around?
Where was all that? You threw it at my crotch.
I threw it right there.
Okay. That's the bus ride. Or a beer, but probably a bus ride.
That was quite the mobile command center. Did you guys see all the antennas on top of that thing?
Yeah, that's like a
A couple times today.
So you guys were down here earlier for the big protest?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many people were here?
I think I heard
say-
350.
Okay, I'd say that's a good number.
That sounds
Three?
about right,
Did,
yeah.
How
did-
many?
it looked like
It was
about
less-
350?
It should have
Yeah, about
been more.
350.
Because if you listen to the police down there at the gate, they said there was no more than 30 or 40 people here.
Oh, no, dude.
That is
What?
a
Well, of course they're
lie
going to downplay it. Of
or-
course they're
a
going to
lie or a
downplay it.
mistake.
I don't think it was 350. It seemed
No.
somewhere between 50
That
and
was the thing
200.
down there.
Oh, down there was
maybe.
350.
There were at least a couple.
Oh, yeah.
hundred.
Here? No, I'll tell you right now.
There were at least a couple hundred.
No, I'm good because I worked in a club and I know how many people are in, you know, because I can see it.
I'd say like 150.
That's exactly what I was going to say, dude. 150.
Out here.
I was going to say
So
about
nowhere near
200.
30, bro.
And did you guys see like any media coverage at all? Was RT out
RT was here. Abby was here.
Right on.
Um,
What about Radowski? Did he make it out here?
No.
Luke didn't make
Mark
it out.
Dice was out here.
Mark
I
Dice.
saw Mark Dice yelling at people today.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah, I was at Builder.
Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
What's up, man?
Having a good time at the Grove?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Hey, is there any kind of schedule that you guys see over there? A list of events?
Yeah, there's like music and art and literature and
Tonight's the Cremation of Care ceremony.
Hey, sir, tonight is the Cremation of Care, is that correct?
I wouldn't really know.
You wouldn't know.
But,
Sounds plausible.
There was only one bad incident that I saw.
Today?
Hey, I was going to know, I think you're a good
Yeah,
journalist.
one elderly gentleman about 70-something years old
75.
Oh, yeah, it was the one.
Yeah.
Arrest right in front of me. Yeah.
crossed the line, which
he
nobody
definitely
else
busted through.
did. He crossed the line.
I mean, they were up there doing their
And
thing, you know.
They
I just stood there.
Really?
Stood my line. Yeah.
How many police do you think were out
Put
here?
him in the car and took him off to jail.
I'd say about 30.
30 police, and did they had like their riot sticks and everything?
Oh yeah, dude.
They were doing the
like,
intimidating. Did they have shields? Really?
I didn't have the
Oh, I
shields, but
miss
they had the
everything.
thing. But I stood right there,
Yeah,
and I
the
just
helmet's
didn't.
on.
I didn't move.
I wanted so badly to be out here to get all this on film.
Where you
Why
coming
weren't you?
Where am I coming from? Sonoma County, man.
from? Sonoma County?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't make it out here for the festival?
No, I have
Well, why
a
didn't
full-time
you?
job.
Oh, you do.
What
Yeah.
do you mean you wanted so bad to be here?
I mean, I have a full-time job. I own a home. I have 2 vehicles. I have 2 children. I have a wife. I have a lot of responsibilities.
How
and
old
I
are your
tried.
children?
How old are my children? I'm not sure that's really relevant.
You have to support them, though, but could you
Just
not...
making conversation, pal.
No, that's cool. I'm not sure what difference that makes on the conversation. How old my kids are. So RT was out here,
Yeah.
and were they interviewing
She
people?
didn't do a live interview, but she did a tape interview.
Right.
Yeah, I talked to her afterwards.
How long was she out here for?
She was out here the whole time, and she left early, I think. I mean, not early, but
Here's what
Midway
gets me.
through.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think we're the only people here? I mean, the whole nucleus, the center of this gathering is tonight. It's the Cremation of Care ceremony. This is where the world's future leaders come to sacrifice
because
the
the lo-
mock effigy of a child.
I'll tell you why.
I seem to have
The
been,
local
like, tricked.
community had a lot of pressure. They barely even allowed them to get the permit down here, and they were going to revoke it, and everybody's pissed off because this creates a lot of money for the economy. We were down there at another city, and they were going off about it.
I agree with you. I am a local.
Year round.
Yeah, I'm a local.
and
I deal with people who are out here all the time, and they think I'm a fucking asshole for protesting
Right.
this. They think that, like you said, this stimulates the economy, and these are just, the world's powerful, and they're just
They're
partying,
like,
having a good
just
time.
forget your
That's
politics,
not what I'm sure
Right.
true there.
and they think certain things, and they think that you're for this or for that.
Okay.
Stops me, guys.
Okay.
It's fine as long as you're staying out of the road.
Hey,
Okay,
you
yeah.
look like my brother-in-law
Oh, do I?
quite a bit.
Yeah? Nice. I'm probably not, though.
No, you're not my brother-in-law. So what do you guys think? Tonight is the Cremation of Care. So they are going to go do a mock sacrifice up there.
Are they?
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you. You work over here. I don't work over
I don't
here.
work, I work the roads.
He's a police officer. He is not involved in
How
the.
come you think they're just bad?
Police are not
He has
our
Because
intelligence.
this is a county road, and we're just making sure that it's...
enemy. Are we all right?
Yeah, as long as you guys
You
stay
guys
out
are
of
worried
the
about the road.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yep. So we just want to make sure you guys are staying out of the road, and you can do whatever you want to do. Just...
I'm going to ask
Were
people
you out
when they
here
come
earlier?
out.
I was there.
There was like
When people
150
come out of here, I'm
people.
going to ask them if they
Crazy.
heard anything. 'Cause like I asked you, I want to know if there's any sounds.
They had the sheriffs out here going like, with the riot here. And
Yep,
doing
we're just
nothing.
making sure you guys stay out of the road and stuff. So as long as you do that,
Hey, if you hear any weird sounds tonight, will you come back and report to me?
So we're not breaking any laws, right?
Just chanting or whatever the hell you hear. They have music or whatever. This is initiation. It's the opening of their meeting.
Right.
So if you hear anything, just come back and let us know.
Cool.
Why do you think there's such an overwhelming presence from the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department out here in front of the Bohemian Grove?
Just making sure everything's good. So
The
it.
mobile unit with 40 antennas on top
just
of it.
past
and-
things that have happened. So we're just making sure everything's good.
Was there something in the past that was violent or anything that would require them to spend so much of the tax dollars' money to create literally a riot squad out here?
We're here to keep the peace, and that's it. Cool. So if you guys just hanging out here, you're fine. Okay, just stay on the roads.
Hey,
So
we're
don't
not
have to come
smoke
back.
pot over here though in the forest.
Yeah. As long as you're sleeping over there and you got your medical marijuana card, you're good to go.
I have my
All right.
card.
All right.
Thanks for
Take
being
care.
so cool.
Yep. See ya.
Have a good night.
You too, guys.
That's cool. They did like a lot of look like a lot of my brother-in-law.
How's it going in there?
They're not allowed to tip, are they? Did they give you gifts this year? Like last year, they gave them frogs. Did you get any tokens?
Can I give you a tip?
You're awesome, man.
What was on the menu?
Bunch of stuff.
Did they tell you not to talk to us? They do? They told you not to. Okay, well, I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
And did other things to just wait on people. So you're young girls.
They just serving people.
Well,
Can you tell me what was on the menu tonight?
You never know.
no, I can't. You never know.
Did they tell you not to speak to us?
Hey, did you suck dick up there?
No, never.
You suck dick up there?
You're giving us a bad name.
Wait a second.
What was on the menu tonight? Did they tell you not to talk to us?
Lamb chops.
Right on, man.
The secret's out.
Oh yeah, with mint sauce.
How you doing, pal?
What were they serving tonight?
Can we talk to you for a second, bro?
Tonight's a cremation of care ceremony.
Going, man. I'm out of here.
Did you hear about
Did you see anybody of notable fame tonight? Any future president?